Hi everybody, it's Stacy Sobel with Salon Today Conversations, and today we have something good with Karie Bennett. Hi Karie, how are you?
Good, Stacy. How are you? So good to see your face.
You too, and you're with Atelier out in San Jose in California,
Yeah.
and you had a great idea that you're not even sure where the origin started, but some salon owners started doing a GoFundMe campaign, so because clients were asking how they could help. So talk a little bit about how that came together and then what you did with the money.
Yeah, at the very beginning, I mean, we closed two locations March 17th, right? 48 people got furloughed. And it was kind of unknown, right? How everybody's going to get paid and unemployment, what was that going to mean? So at the very beginning, I can't remember either, but I saw online that some salon owner had created a GoFundMe page for their employees. And um, yeah, we were getting a lot of texts and emails and messages from clients on how could they help. So I created this GoFundMe page, and it kind of took off from there. I knew that with 48 people, I set my goal at like $4,900 because GoFundMe, they take a little bit of a percentage. I figured I'd have $100 to give everyone, and after a few weeks, we had hit our goal. Now, since we closed, I mean, I don't think I've stopped working a single day. There hasn't really been much of a coronation for business owners, right? So I was sitting at my kitchen table on my computer, filling out applications for loans and grants. And, some days I never did get out of my pajamas. Some days it was lounge pants. But I was doing the stuff that I really hated, which is computer work, looking at numbers and reports. And I was getting like more and more angry, more and more upset, trying to get outside for walks to clear my head. But it wasn't enough. I really needed to do something that I love to do. We had canceled 3 trips and vacations and whatever. I just was overwhelming to me, and I had this money and I had to get it to my employees. I wanted to do it soon, and I didn't really feel like Venmo or some electronic form of payment was really very personal. And I thought, what do I love to do? I love to be with my people. I love to see them. And I just decided to drive to every single one of their houses and give them the money. And I made it a surprise too, actually. So I concocted my little drive-by program, and I found this app online, or a program online called Route XL. And every day I charged up my electric car. I had like maximum battery life. And then I mapped out the addresses of my employees for that day. And what I did was I sent them a message and I said, hey, can you send me the address that you're sheltering in place at? And I think, most of them thought, oh, she's going to send me the money, from that GoFundMe.
Right.
They didn't really think I was going to be showing up at their door with it. And, but I love to surprise people like for things like that. So I mapped out my routes, and let's see, I think it was about 10 days, not in a row, because I think I took a day or two off in the middle, but took me 10 days to do. And I logged hundreds of miles. I went we're in San Jose. I went to Oakland, which is about 40, 45 miles away. I went out to San Ramon to the East Bay. I also went down to Santa Cruz in the south, and just everywhere in between. And it was actually really fun. The first day I did it, I went and did the managers first, and I just came home feeling so light, and like all that heaviness and negativity, it just lifted. And I said, this just gave me life. It gave me life. It gave me that positivity back. And I just wanted to do it again and again. So every day, loaded up the car with snacks and water and charged it up. And I went on another trip, and I would text them. So I put the address in.
You did something to make sure they were going to be there.
Yes,
and
that was
the
the
grocery
thing.
store.
That was the thing. So out of the 48 people, 2 people weren't home when I got there. and one person or three people were not home, but one person was like at Costco, and she said, I said, there's a delivery for you. And she said, oh, I'm only 5 minutes away. I'll turn around. So they thought it was cookies. They thought all kinds of things. So I texted them and I said, hey, delivery coming for you in the next 30 minutes. Will you be home? And they said yes, or they said no. And then I went to a different house. So I got very tricky about it. When I was in Santa Cruz, I went to someone's house and I said, well, the next person is also lived there. I'm going to go to next. And she said, oh, she's out on the beach with her family, but here's where she is. I know exactly where she is. And then I went down, and I also had this big sign I had made, a big poster.
Let's show that picture. We have some pictures that your team took.
Oh yeah. There's the one on the beach. That was funny. I walked out onto the sand with this big miss you sign. It was really fun.
So these are, you can see these? These are the pictures? Yeah.
Yes.
So you have this big sign.
Yeah. So I actually, I didn't make the sign till maybe like a few visits in, but they all took photos of me, and then they posted them onto Instagram. And I just thought they were so cute. I captured the photos.
And then you are, you know, let's mandate, you are safely distanced apart when you're greeting them. You're not. Yeah.
Yeah. And some of them did selfies. Some of them did selfies with like they're in the front and I'm in the back, and you can kind of see how that is.
I think
I loved it. Here's the one on the beach. Look how cute. Yeah, I'm 6 feet behind her. That's her husband taking the picture. And you know, honestly, I was doing it for myself.
But you are in the car.
Look at that. I know that one. I couldn't park. You know, everyone's parked on the street because everyone's at home, right? So I couldn't find a place to park. So that one that was a true drive-by. I love the MVP. Yeah, I started out doing it for me, and I don't think I really understood how important it would be to people. Now this one, she's the farthest, I think, away from where I am. And her husband took these pictures, and she could not believe that I had driven all the way there. And it was actually really fun. You know, I put books on Audible. I made phone calls. And then I built in some bathroom breaks. I figured out where the Safeways were. Here's another one. She was so sweet. She gave me a bag of masks. And this one, look at her face. She's surprised. That's Kate.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. And so, like I said, I started out doing it for myself, but when I saw their posts, it kind of came back to me about how important it was to them, how sweet they felt it was. And it really reconnected me to my team. I think that was the main thing. You know, my team is not really they're not doing the TikTok videos. They're not doing the holding up the posters. They're taking care of kids, most of them. They have a lot going on. Some of them are just like, I asked one of them and she said, I think I'm just brain dead. They're doing a lot of Aveda education videos. They're watching, you know, a lot of those online. So and we're not doing Zoom calls every day because, you know, out here in California, it's not work time. So I can't really ask people to do it. We're doing optional casual visit Zooms and house party apps. But this just really reconnected me to my team and made me feel so grateful, made me also really respect how far people come to get to work.
Oh yeah, I imagine, because you drove their exact routes without the traffic.
No traffic here, which is really great.
Yeah.
But like the one in San Ramon, it's a 45-minute drive without traffic. So it's about double that with traffic. And she comes down to work 3 days, I think, a week, 3 or 4, and has been doing it for over 10 years.
That's amazing.
That is amazing. So that really, it really gave me a whole new respect for them. Anyway, it was really such a blessing to me. And I think I'm going to consider it to be one of the most memorable things I've ever done in my career.
Oh, sure. That's very nice.
Yeah, I'll never forget it.
Well, We know that, Georgia just opened up, so we're following some of the stories of those salons. But you heard from California recently that it could be months for you.
Yep. So where we're at is, well, so last week the county said that they were extending our shelter in place from May 4th till they're like end of May. Okay, well, let's just call that June 1st. And we're like, ugh, it's like all of April, all of May, half of March. It's a while. And then the next day, the governor came out and he said there's a 4-phase plan to reopen California. We're in phase 1 right now, which is essential businesses only, hospitals and grocery stores, stuff like that. And we'll soon move into phase 2. They're waiting for 2 weeks without spikes and things like this. They have like six criteria they have to hit. So we're going to get into phase 2, and phase 2 is going to be retail curbside. They're opening golf courses, but you can't be in a cart. They're opening daycares with a max of 12 kids.
That seems to make no sense to me, but.
Gosh, I know. Well, somebody's going to have to keep kids apart. Someone's going to have to keep their hands washed. I mean, you can tell me to do all that.
Yeah.
Not to mention I'm a cosmetologist and I've been trained on proper sanitation. Somebody's notifying the governor about that. But kids, it's very hard to keep everybody clean, and it's not so much that they're going to pass it to each other. It's what they're going to pass along to whoever, the
Fix
house
them up.
kids go to. They're going to allow landscapers to work. So I guess my husband's off the job. And let's see, because he's been doing our landscaping. He's been trimming my trees. I can't remember what else, because I got focused on that daycare and I think I blacked out of everything else. But so that's phase 2. And then phase 3 is going to be salons and spas and businesses like us, barbers. And then phase 4 is conventions and concerts. And by phase 4, they think we'll be pretty close to being back to normal. I don't know how long it'll take to get to phase 4. Can you imagine going to a concert right now?
Yeah, that'll be months and months.
Months and months and months, maybe next year. So the thing is that once we hit phase 2 and we're retail, I mean, I could reopen my salon as a retail only spot but it's curbside. So still, you're not going to be able to come in and shop in a store. It's still going to be outside only. There's so many states that already allow curbside.
You're right.
We have not been doing that. So, yeah, it was a big blow, and it's upsetting to be stuck like that. I don't like the part where they just say months. It's like you want to know when. Right?
Or at least give you the criteria so you can track, what it is that you need to hit.
I find it interesting that daycares are opening before salons. And
that's weird to me.
I know there's somebody posted on Facebook, I think it was the Professional Beauty Federation of California, this long letter to the governor and just reminding him, and maybe he wasn't aware, but hairstylists, cosmetologists, we have I think it's the first 3 months, we learn all about sanitation, sterilization, disinfection, contagious diseases. We know more than somebody running a daycare, I think. And
your clients aren't running around touching each other, hugging, playing together.
Well, maybe in some salons they do. I don't know. We're all hugging each other.
But you have a little more control, is what I'm saying.
Those days are going to be gone for a while. We're going to do a lot of namastes for a while. So just the thought that a group of people have been trained in this particular thing. I mean, we don't have to go very far from where we were and what we were trained to do to what we have to do.
Right.
Okay. It's a mask and a face shield. It's a different type of disinfection. And we all just have to be like, okay, if you slip down from what you were supposed to do, get back up to that standard. And that's what we're going to have to do now. It's not that far for us to go. It's pretty far for a lot of other businesses to start doing all this when they never did it. They never had to do it.
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely disappointing. It's definitely upsetting. And I mean, the thing about not knowing the date, I mean, I always say when I'm on hold and they say your average wait time is 2 minutes, I'm like, yes, 2 minutes. But if they just put you on hold indefinitely, you're like, I think I've been on the hold for 30 minutes. And
Or
you're
you
like,
don't even know if they're
been
open.
free.
Sometimes you don't know if they're even open and they just put you
Yeah.
on hold and you're like, are they open? Like, I don't know.
Did someone forget to put a setting on the phone? So it's the unknown, and we're all kind of struggling to figure out what to do. And as one person trying to figure it out, I would have a very hard time if I didn't have a really good network of people.
Well, you talked to me about the value of connection and being part of a number of different groups where you could connect with other salon owners, including the PBA. So how has that kind of supported you through this time?
Oh, invaluable. Absolutely critical that I have this support network, or networks, because I have multiple and I call on them all at different times. And I have my family and my friends, and they're not in my industry. They're not living my life. They're not doing these applications. They don't always know exactly what is going on with me. But my friends in the industry, we are right there with each other. We are doing the same thing. We are struggling with the same thing. So through, the Professional Beauty Association. So I'm on the advisory council, and my fellow salon owners there, we are connected and we're sharing experiences. So that's a support for me. Then I have my Aveda network, and that is amazing. We have Facebook groups. We're just texting each other. Then I have a women presidents organization, which not all of them are salon owners, but they are women business owners. And we have good connections, and some of them are way smarter than me. Actually, most of them are way smarter than me. And we have bankers to tap into, and attorneys, and people in different types of businesses. I just am looking for every bit of information that can help me, because with like the PPP loan, not all the bankers know everything. They're just kind of the pass through. They're, okay, you got this loan. You have to get a hold of somebody at the SBA for answers, and you can't get anyone there. So
Right.
yeah, invaluable. I really appreciate all the support and sharing information. So important.
Well, Karie, thank you so much, and thank you for sharing the feel good idea. I love that you personally drove the routes and visited your team and made it fun with the sign, and I'm sure they got so much out of that beyond the money.
I did too.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it was one of the best things that came out of this, and I just hope we can find more good stuff, because it's definitely a tough time, and I hope that we all come out of it better, stronger, and just together.
Together. Yeah. Well, thank you again. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And take care.
Okay. Bye.